shouldn't use your phone while driving, right? But I just had it on my hand. Anyway, the police just stopped me and asked for my driving license, and then he went back to his motorcycle. He was riding a motorcycle. He was just by himself, no one else. And then he came back and he said, "This time it's just to how could we say this? This is just a way of scolding you, so you don't do it again, right?"
Like a warning.
Yeah, a warning. So I thought that he would find me in that moment, but for some reason he didn't. Like he stopped me by Sudan police. They want bribery, you know, and I honestly didn't have any cash at that moment. I didn't have any cash, so I couldn't pay him a bribery even if he asked me. He only told me, "I will take your driving license and then I will give you your fine." I was like, "Fine." But then he went back and he told me, "This time is just a warning, right? I'll give you this COVID ship for the moment, and then um you will just don't do it again." And I'm like, this policeman is either too nice, or maybe he wanted me to give him some money, but eventually I um he found out that I would just receive my fine. I don't know how much it is, but I was lucky. Then I was checking my phone because I was still worried about my friend. And when I told you that he passed away, and well, I don't know if he passed away. I don't know why I even told you that. I feel like he passed away, but he's lost. So yeah, I was just
Yes, I was about to ask you about your friend.
mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. Well, we don't know anything about him. Um,
Any news at the moment?
no news, no news, no updates. Police said that they would contact him. Um I mean, they would contact us and his family if any news, and that they would check his computer in his apartment today. But I don't know if they did. So we think that the police is being kind of slow, but obviously I feel that everyone feels that um these things are slow when it comes to your relative or friend, right? So we try to stay positive. Um, we try to not think about the worst scenario, but I already told them, like, I would really I think that it's necessary that you start thinking um about the worst scenario possible. Like anything could happen. Okay, very well. So we're going back to the today's topic. And how are you today?
No, I can complain.
Yeah.
A lot of work as always.
A very
Okay.
busy day in the case.
Perfect. So you're having a good time at work?
I don't know. Platonic is like platonico? Is something like that?
Yeah, how's it going?
I say that the word platonico in Spanish is like platonic in English. In
Mm-hmm.
English. Yes. Okay. So taking that in mind, my my good time at work is like I visited a customer and he got a secretary. It's like my platonic love, like
Mm-hmm.
she's a very friendly and girl, we talk a lot. She know I have my wife and I know she have a but we just talk, like okay, if we meet like in other situation like that, I mean we just make jokes about that like all the times and that it was a little good part of my day. But
Mm-hmm.
the other thing, a lot of work, a lot of very hot the temperature, um, a lot of work. Hot.
Okay. All right. And you, Oscar, how's it going?
Sorry, about what? The platonic?
Your job, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Actually, in the morning, I have every Wednesday, we have a weekly meet with foreigners. And my boss had to be there, but he said that he couldn't arrive early. As
Mm-hmm.
always, he gets late and let me talk with him by myself. No. That's why, because he don't speak well English, so that's why he let me with the meeting running by myself.
Excuse me, Oscar. Do you have a platonic love too, or just me?
About the job, I
I don't
love my
know. I don't know.
actually.
Maybe in a job, maybe in a college, and I don't know if
Anything
you have
else?
one.
In the past time, yeah, there is an artist, is Emily from Evanescence. That's my platonic love.
Mm.
Oh yeah, well there's another.
I don't know. I'm just kidding, but if you have one platonic love
Yeah.
in college or in job, I'm pretty sure you go like with a lot of power, like energy. Like it's another reason to go. I don't know. I don't know, but I
Hmm.
try to find one at least in any situation because like this have another motivation about to it's just like I don't know if it's something like crazy in my mind, but
Well,
I just
nowadays, my very platonic love and my inspiration is my daughter and my wife. Absolutely. There's
good for
nothing
you.
that
He's a family man.
exactly. So nothing can change that.
That's wonderful. Okay, guys.
Well, by the way, Emily.
All right. So, yeah, I love we have like these spontaneous conversation from time to time. That's good. Needs to happen sometimes when you are want to break the ice with any person, any foreigner. You just need to try to find ways to break the ice, right? So, very well. You know that the last class we were talking about job interviews, to show you one job interview. And right, we're going to continue talking a little bit about that, how to perform better with a job interview when it's a client. So here we go. Just that I don't know what's the problem, if it's my internet or the computer itself. Okay. So what we're going to do now is to check some vocabulary related to this um, interaction with clients, with customers. Actually, that's a very good way if you want to be very client or customer oriented. Some jobs don't require that much interaction with people, maybe more with machines or with projects, as some other really require this social situation and interaction with others. So if you are like interested in this, so you will find this vocabulary really interesting. Okay. So in this case, is related a little bit more to the social life. Couldn't preview file. There was a problem loading. 1 second. Okay, for either have a relationship, can be personal or it can be at work, and it can be, we could say, on thin ice. And sometimes some clients, you know, that they have their way. They are, we could say, they have a character where they could be a little bit arrogant. I was talking to some of my students today, and they told me that they have this client. You know, the client was called because he needed some information, right, about real estate or something. But the person was kind of arrogant and was saying, you know, like, I don't have time, just cut to the chase, and this kind of um this kind of way, like he wanted the person to rush in his explanation. But he said, excuse me, but you were the one who called me, so you can give me just 5 minutes, or you want I can call you later, but I'm not calling you, you know, you're the one asking for the information. So the way some people have to deal with others, sometimes you can find people who have a very nice personality. Some other people are just difficult to deal with. Maybe even you have found yourselves a bit friendlier in some situations, but maybe you are having not a very nice day, and then you give a rough comment or you rush to say not very nice words. So even though this, we're going to first set this, some of this vocabulary that is for relationships, right? Um, so we can use it with friends and with other kind of people too, and then we will focus this vocabulary too for customers as well. So you will find here some phrasal verbs. So the first four phrasal verbs that we will have here is split up. So split up is this is just like very relationship, like it says, with boyfriend or girlfriend, and you decide not to be together anymore. But it can happen to you when you work with another person in another way, you know, just maybe you have a colleague, or maybe you have a partner who works with you in business, so you split up. Um, then we have this other phrasal verb that is drift apart. So when you drift apart and you are close to the person, and then you start to feel that it's not the same thing that it used to be. I don't know if you ever had this feeling with any person. You were so close to a friend. You were so close to, even you had you had this client that was always coming back, or even in a relationship, like a romantic one. And then it's just not the same feeling, right? So that say that you're drifting apart. So you don't feel that close anymore. Then we have this other expression that is finish with, you can say finish with a person, finish with, it's usually with people, you know, but you can use it for projects, finish with this project, finish with this company, and it also it only means that you don't want to have any relationships anymore, any relation with them anymore. Then it says break off. Yeah, you would like to break off too. This is, I think this is exclusively uh for romantic relationships. So we're gonna check it here. We're gonna read it. So this is like a kind of letter that Linda wrote to her aunt. So I would like to ask Flor if you could help me read this paragraph, and then we comment a little bit if you have ever experienced such thing. Flor, can you hear me?
Yes, teacher.
All right. Can you please help me read this paragraph, please?
Yeah.
Okay.
Read? Read, teacher?
Yeah, please, can you help me read this text? It's a note.
Yeah. There, Auntie Joe. My boyfriend and I have just split up after a year together. For the first 6 months, everything was great, but then we just seemed to drive apart. I didn't really want to finish with him, but he wanted to break off our relationship. Should I ask him if we can start again and try to rediscover uh, the magic of those first 6 months? Months?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, have you ever, I don't know if it's personal, Flor, have you ever broken off any relationship? Have you ever broken off any relationship or finished with any boyfriend before or any person?
Uh, no, teacher.
Okay, very well. So I don't know if I would like to ask the question, right? If you're single or not. So you have never experienced like breaking up with someone or breaking off a relationship. I mean, I don't want to go into details, just I have. Well, actually it was the other way around, but and I think that you learn a lot from that. So, you were talking at the beginning, right, about platonic love, about right? I think that I never really felt or I don't know, maybe some actresses, but I did have some platonic loves when I was teenager, but I think that it's normal. Like your feelings are so actually it's a kind of age in my life that I will always remember with a lot of suffering. Like my feelings were so strong, but then I realized it was just part of me growing, you know, like actually if you feel something for someone when you're a teenager, is even worse. And I'm not talking about real love because that's not real love sometimes. Sometimes it is, right? But what it's real love is, for example, what you feel for your wife for if you have a good relationship, of course, and after a while, what you feel for your children, But what you feel for one person that you see 2 or 3 times, right? And then we have all these pop stories, movies, music that make all these like magic growth of feelings, you know my meaning? But the first person, you know, that the I don't know how you will take this, but I'm not saying this for any reason. So the two partners that I have, the two girlfriends I had, they were foreigners, and I didn't have any other relationship with anyone else from my country, but we're close. But I had a very bad experience in my previous relationship, and you know what is worse? That I tried again with someone from different country, but this time it worked, and so far it has worked. So actually, it was like I kind of tripped with the same rock. Um, but yeah, I would say that I've experienced this before, but now I have a good relationship with my wife. Okay, how about you, Saul? Have you ever felt like you've drifted apart from any person? Maybe the feeling is not the same with a friend. I have had experiences with friends too, but I would like to let you know. I don't want you to feel condescending with me. So, so have you ever felt that you've drifted apart from anyone?
Yes, teacher. I could say like a lot of times, because like when I was a kid, and when I was a teenager too, I used to have a lot of friends in the college. They are still friend of mine. I
I
still
don't know why I
get.
have feeling that you are a very friendly person, like social.
Yes, yes. That's why I decided to study in marketing, and I'm myself man for that reason, because I am a very person man. I don't know, but in fact, the thing is that a lot of friends that I have in the past, and with the path of the time, we just like get distance. They have another interest that I don't have. Like I have a lot of friends that are were very good friends in the past, and then they begin like just to hang out, have party times, and all that. And I have 2 careers, and I have a master's degree. I spend a lot of my time just studying, because it's like a hobby that I like, and I don't find a lot of people who can who who can share that hobby with me. That's why, like, when they invite me a lot of time to go out, and I just say no, 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 like many times. Finally, and the final, they just like put me away. Like, okay, we just go to party together, and we won't invite, so no more.
Mm-hmm.
And beginning, I was like feeling a little bad, because sometimes I could be able to go, but
What
they
have you
still.
learned from that?
Exactly. So that's why, I just understand that life, the life will divide my weight, my weight, or of the other persons and final, and I just have to accept it. So that's why I begin to make my own way, but at final, I think with friends, with like some relative, like cousins, maybe, or like that. At final, we have different life, and when we grow, we have to, maybe sometimes we seem forced to drift apart from the person. But I think it's happened a lot.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, I think you always learn from those things, and you sometimes feel some things happen to you, and you feel this is the worst thing that could happen to me. Like, um, and then you start well, not everyone, but you start to be more suspicious when you have a new relationship. But if you don't take it, you don't take that load on yourselves, then you learn the lesson and just keep moving, like um like yeah, okay. Other way you can is say that you drift apart, you can say also grow apart. So here, like when two people grow apart, right? So that's another way of saying these are some phrasal verbs. We're gonna check the next one here. And I would like to ask Oscar to read it, and let's see if we identify, or if we maybe not with ourselves, but some news. Sometimes we find some interesting stories around our neighborhood. So we're gonna read this. Please, Oscar, can you help me read it?
Yeah, of course. Okay, let's start. Dear Auntie Joe, a couple of years ago, my uncle ran off with another woman. She was much younger than him. In fact, she was only 20 and he was 52. It ended in disaster. He left her last year and returned to his wife. But the
Mm-hmm.
neighborhoods all stare at him and laugh at him. It seems he'll never live it down. Live it down. He's doing his best to settle down and be a good husband and uncle again. But I feel so unhappy for him. What can I do? Lana, age 17.
Okay, so I'm not
He
going to
was a
ask
big
you.
daddy.
Yeah. I'm not going to ask you if you have ever run off with another woman, but what do you think about this situation, guys? Do you think what do you believe? Do you think it's possible to settle down after there is unfaithfulness or being unfaithful, right?
So,
Do you think it's possible to go back to the normal relationship that you had? Do you think that the person, even if they say, "Yeah, I forgive you," you think will be the same?
as I always say, if you broke something, you can put glue and ¿cómo se dice pegar? Paste,
And
but
yeah,
it will
glue
be
it
never be
and stick it. Mhm.
glue it, but it will never be the same. It no look the same way at the first time. So you have this feeling like always feel like you are no are comfortable, confident. You lost that, and it's very difficult to recover it again. So I
Mhm.
think it's hard. It's not impossible. Actually, there are groups in the church where we're going, and they have how do you say matrimonios, marriage,
Marriages,
marriage,
matrimonies.
matrimonies that they talk about their problems with
Mhm.
another couples, and it helps you to go ahead and how do you say to settle down and
Mhm.
try to make a better relation uh, because they have a children, so they have a lot of history. So it's possible, but at the end, it's not the same. I think when
Mhm.
you skirt up.
Okay. Yeah, totally agree. What do you think about it? So do you feel the same?
Yes, I think I don't know. It's it's gonna sound like a little strange, but no matter the person who did it, like maybe it's the man or maybe it's the woman, but if you admit the mistake, you know, that that's the end. No matter if the other people try to forgive you, like like Oscar says, it's not gonna be the same. They say yes, I forgive you, but them in any trouble you got, uh, in any arguing you have, in any future, you know that path is gonna go to their mind, like no matter if it's his mind or her mind, but it's gonna be present, and they will mention it to try to make you suffer for that reason, and sometimes this person will take this situation like excuse to do things. And I think it's better if you think what made the mistake is because you are prepared for the ending. Because, like, in my opinion, like Oscar say, it's never the same.
Mm-hmm. There are some a couple of proverbs that you would relate to this situation. One of them could be like, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me." Right?
Right. Yeah.
So the thing that and the sad thing is that sometimes it's fool me twice, and we let this situation happen. So I think that some people don't forgive others because they don't want to um they don't want to have this shame on them, because yeah, when they cheat on you the first time, we could say you are always innocent. The second time, well, maybe, yeah, of course, but it's not the same. Then there's other proverb, they say um once beaten, twice shy. Once beaten, twice shy. So it's basically the same, like, oh, you just you don't let you be beaten again, right? And I feel the same. Like, how can you forget all those things from your mind? Like, I think that just is not going back to the same relationship. I have this idea. For me, would be so difficult, but I have some friends. Well, actually, my wife's friends. They live in Poland, and this is a very he's a nice guy. Well, I don't know how it is in their matrimony, how things are going there. But like, he's nice guy, healthy, good looking, you could say. He has a good job, making a lot of money. Um, his wife is a little bit older than him. She cheats on him with someone who is close to him. Um, so they decide to call off the matrimony. Well, they didn't divorce, but they separated, and they came back together, and now they have a daughter together. Like, this woman had a baby with him again, and you look at them and they look like nothing happened. But the worst thing is that everyone in that community knows, and this guy just looks so nice. Like, my wife and her family knows him better, and they really feel that she doesn't deserve him. So it's such a thing that I always say I would never accept that. Like, I feel that love can be stronger to avoid people having this kind of um to be unfaithful, to cheat on each other, right? Okay, so now we talk a little bit about relationships, but I told you, right, it's also important to um talk about the other relationships, right? The level of relationships. So this kind of relationships, they are less problematic since it's about, that's the problem, you know. Sometimes they say when you grow, your network it's just to benefit you. Some people, for example, want their children to study in very nicer, let's say, expensive schools because they want their children to relate with other rich kids, you know? So there's really a thing that people have in mind when it comes to networking, but there is much more, right? So what is the professional network? There is some advice that LinkedIn provides. This is one of the platforms that people use to create a network. I very often see posts from people trying to find a job and their contacts help them to find a job and they connect you. But I'm not going to talk about the virtual network, but exactly what you need to do and why would you like to grow a professional network. So some of the reasons, there are like different reasons, but when you have a network, it doesn't matter. I mean, the best thing is that you have many friends. And when you have friends, they support you in the good and bad times. I mean, the real friends, and you support them too. And you feel that you are not alone, right? So when you are growing your professional network, you need to identify your goals. Why would you like to grow your professional network? Well, maybe because in the future you may lose. I hope it doesn't happen to you. Or maybe you want to get a new job, but if you lose your current job, there will be a net behind you that will support you in those times. And for other, if you don't work in a company, but maybe you have your own company or maybe you have your own business, having a network is so important because you can have clients and you have other colleagues who help you to get clients, those clients, right? They connect you. So that's why the first thing you need to do is to identify your goals. Like what would you like to do? What would you like to reach with? Um, like what is your motivation to do this? So I'm sure that all of you have a network at at work or maybe from clients that you've had before and they're satisfied with what you offer, right? So you need to try to identify what you want for yourself. Then the other thing is you need to nurture those relationships just like just like we do with other relationships. You also need to nurture your relationships. You know what that means? What do you think? How do you nurture just another kind of relationship like with your friends? How do you keep a friend?
What means exactly nature?
What is the meaning of nurture?
Yes.
Nurture is similar to feed. Feed is like, but nurture comes from nutrition.
Okay, like how do you make it grow?
No, yeah, we could say nurture is to give food, water, so it grows. Talking about friends, how do you nurture your relationships with your friends?
You know, just spending time together, like talking about things you have in common, like finding new things, exploring the ones that you have never done in the past, and now your friend do it, and you can give a chance to try it and to see if you like it. And the same way in the other, like the same way around, like your friend will make the same too. Then finally you will see you got, like more things in common, and then I think that the way you can nurture your your relationship with friends.
Yeah, you said
For
something true. Yeah, Oscar.
yes, be in the good ones and stay in the bad.
Mm-hmm. Stay in the bad
And to
times.
take
That's the most difficult thing because it's very tempting to connect with people. I think we will see. I want friends that stay with me in the good and bad times, but are we those kind of friends, you know? And that's true. Especially you need to be there in the bad times.
in the
Especially.
bad times exactly.
Yeah.
That is when the friends show up.
Yeah. You know, that's why I find sometimes funerals so depressing, you know, because everyone goes to your funeral, even people you never talk to, or friends that were not even your friends, you know, but they're just going there to be polite with the family, obviously. That makes you feel like, do I have these real friends? Something that Saul said, right? Spending time with them. So one of my friends who is friend to, like, we are friends in common with the one who disappeared. He was receiving a lot of scam messages from people threatening him, asking him for money, even though they were not kidnappers. They were just opportunists. So, when we went there, like he was so mentally so bad, like he was really going through a hard time because he was taking the leadership in finding our friend. And I saw that took a toll on his head. So I advised him to let it go, like he shouldn't reply those messages. But the fact that he was, like, we were talking about my friend who is lost, and he ended up talking about when his dad died. He said, I hated my dad so much, but I cried like a baby when he died. And then he started crying and we hugged him. Like, you know, these kind of things, it doesn't happen if you don't go and visit your friends. Like, we didn't even drink or we didn't even have food. It was just talking, you know? So I think that's really good thing. When we talk about the professional network, sometimes we really want to talk to people when we need a job, right? Or we want to find clients. But what if you focus on growing a network when you are not in need? That's the thing, because let's say you can just make friends, or we could say make some favors. I mean, when you do favors, sometimes we need to find a balance, right? Because you need to be able to say no, thank you, I can do this favor to you. But if you can do something nice for one, why don't you do it? They will remember, right? If they ask you to do something, you can do something extra. So do something that they don't expect. Write a message just to see if they're doing okay. Give them the assurance that they can trust in you. So it will be easier, because if you only contact people when you are in trouble or when you need them, you're not really growing that relationship, right? Talking about network. So when can you apply this? Well, you can try to connect more with your workmates. Um, Sometimes when you are a salesperson, uh, you should never forget that you should try to make a goal to make your clients your friends. What I mean is, obviously there are some scenarios in which this wouldn't be a very good idea, but when your clients become closer to you, they can recommend you, and you can have someone who will always buy from you because there's a relationship where you trust each other, right? So it's about also like some people call it karma. I just I just like to call it like when you do good, you receive good. And when you do good without expecting anything in exchange, that's wonderful because then life surprises you. Okay, then it says also expand your horizons. There's people that they're not only in your area, maybe they don't work with you, but maybe later they can connect you. You know that, for example, you have your suppliers at work. Can you connect with them? You never know. I have friends that make friends easily. For me, it's difficult because I'm a little bit shy when I meet new people. Then later I'm not shy, but for me it's very hard to make the first impression. For me it's very hard. It stresses me. But I have some friends that are so good at making friends with everyone new. So suppliers, clients, everyone. And you can try to do some things, you know. For example, sometimes it takes a lot more time, but there are some hosting events, maybe creating groups on the internet related to your job. I don't know, for example, Oscar is an expert with technology. So maybe Oscar can give some help on these groups, or maybe he can create his own group and giving tips or advice. Some people even become influencers, and then they always have clients coming to them because you're giving them something for free. You can try mentoring, right? And like what I told you, social media can really push you to that way. Let's say that you are selling anything, right? And you give mentoring about it for free on the internet. So more people get to know you because it's for free. Then if they want they want this consultancy. The consultancy is like a specialized, individualized mentoring. So you could say, okay, I will give you this mentoring for free. Later, if you want to know more, you can pay me, right? But this is the way, like going to host, you can host events. You can, there's always congresses about what you do, right? Um, if you do real estate, there is congress about real estate. There are congresses about English teachers. There are congresses about anything, so you can attend them. Sometimes they are not for free, but and what I've realized is that many people, like when you attend this congress, you can get contacts of many people, and then you can create some marketing campaigns that are targeting these people who attended the congress or the events. The other thing is like related to the other one is be generous and authentic. And this is both for any relationship, and maybe it's too for these professional ones. So when it's transactional, right? Not one-sided relationship. So you give your support, you don't condition help to something, right? And then later you can be you will find surprise, you will be surprised when you ask them, hey, do you think you could tell anyone, do you think you could recommend my services? And because everyone is generous, if everyone tries to be generous, they will tell you, yeah, of course, I know this contact, I know this person, you can do this job for him, you know. And why authentic? Because you don't need to try to copy someone else's. You need to try to do the business your own way with your special touch. And some things work for everyone, but it's better when you are different, right? People now want different businesses. They want different concepts. So when you offer them something different, you're like, hey, I'm not just a salesperson. I'm the person that can give you special attention. I'm an expert that can help you with this topic. so then you can grow your network. So there are many reasons, right? But we are social animals. So we are you can try to do everything by your own. You can try to do it alone, but you're going to find trouble, even though some are lone wolves. What do you think? Can you think about other ideas or ways you can grow a professional network, or why do you think is a good idea, or maybe you don't think it's a good idea? You can share your thoughts about growing the professional network. Will you compliment it?
I was saying my job and all the jobs that I have been, I try to explain my experience, my knowledge to the college. It doesn't matter if they are techniques or they are administrative or the boss. They all the team has to know that I know. And if they have a new idea or the new knowledge, they share with all the are in the team. So all we have the same net level of knowledge. So
Mm-hmm.
that helps us to grow. If one of us is not in the office, another one can do the job.
Yeah. And I think that ego is an obstacle in
Exactly.
many jobs. When there's a team working, ego, I can do it better than you, and people don't want to work together
Oh,
because
yeah, I
there's the
hear
ego.
my boss speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I'm working on that. So he is nowadays he gets more softly about his ego. So now he shared some things that he didn't share in the past days.
yeah,
So it works. It works. That I show you my experience, and I think that it likes it. It likes it.
yeah.
So I think it's working.
Yes, and it's ridiculous. Sometimes you have to try to give advice or make things work, and you have to take care of people's ego. Like you have to
Yes,
take care about your words, not to hurt their ego.
it's difficult, but not impossible.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining. We'll see you the next time. Take care. Good night.
Thank you.